after watching Monday Night Football, it was a tale of two different games. I get it, like right out of the gate, 10 for 10. He's on fire. He has that ball on the sideline to Odunze on the opening drive. You're like, all right, I know this guy. This is the guy that won the Heisman. I remember this guy from USC. But then, Fitz, you saw the second half. How concerned are you?
I just hate it for Chicago fans that game ended the way it did, because you could feel it coming through the TV, how excited they were, especially after that first drive. The defense was playing great. I mean, the NFL is better when Chicago has a great football team. And I think Ben Johnson is a great offensive mind. And so this thing is a work in progress. It really is. But I think Caleb's going to play a lot better this year. He's going to play a lot better than he did last year. And look, there's some things that he does when I think it was the Odunze throw where he rolled out, escape pressure, went to his right and threw a laser. Like the velocity that he put on that ball, and it was effortless for him. He does some things that nobody else in the National Football League can do. But he's got to be able to also play in rhythm, play within the pocket, play. Jared Goff was so good in this offense because he had such great command of where the ball was going. Even before the snap, he knew where the ball was going. So Caleb still needs to progress and get there. He went 10 for 10 early. There were a lot of look downfield and throw it to DeAndre Swift, some check downs and things. And I think, as the Vikings caught on to that, the ball's got to go down the field a little bit more. But they've got players. The Bears certainly have players on offense. So I think that's what's exciting. I know the fans are disappointed for week one, but I'm excited about this Bears offense going forward.
All right. Last thing real quick, then we'll talk about the ridiculous bust last year, which was, I hope you have that at home. If you were Brian Daboll, would you start Jaxson Dart?
So everybody's up in arms screaming, saying we got to start Jaxson Dart. We got to start Jaxson Dart. The problem is when the offense isn't right, when it's not just a quarterback problem, there's a lot of things going on in New York right now. The offensive line didn't play great. There's guys on the outside. We got to figure out what's going on and get everybody on the same page. It's a lot easier to do that with a veteran quarterback. And so, yes, I know that patience is wearing thin, and Jaxson Dart had a great preseason, but I promise you it's difficult to play quarterback in the NFL. And when things aren't right around you, it makes it almost impossible. And so I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit on the Jaxson Dart thing, because Russell Wilson is a veteran. Russell Wilson knows how to command a huddle. And that team needs to get a lot better in a lot of different places. So hopefully in the next few weeks that can calm down and that can settle in a little bit. And then my whole thing is, I'm seeing like week 7 as the week, because week 6, I think we have them on Thursday Night Football. You get those extra few days, a couple days of practice, a couple days to settle in Jaxson Dart. So I don't think it happens this early, because I think there are a lot more issues on that offense in week 1 than the quarterback.
Best wishes to the crew. Break a leg week 1. I mean that figuratively, not literally. And hope to see you soon, man. Thanks for doing this.
All right. Awesome talking to you, dude.
The great Ryan Fitzpatrick, everybody. Week 7, oh, by the way, Charles and Ben back with me. Week 7 would be on the road at Denver. Not exactly an easy one. Let's go Giants-Cowboys here, preview that one. 3rd straight season opener, Charles, for the Giants here without scoring a touchdown, which they have, it had never happened since the 42 Lions. That's truly hard to believe. And they are sticking with Russell Wilson. Do you think this is his last shot?
Yeah, look, with all due respect to what Ryan said, and I understand what he's saying about, it is difficult to start a rookie quarterback in the NFL, but it's also difficult to watch Russell Wilson. I think he was 17 for 37. I think I'm right about that in the opener. And not only that, it's doubly bad when you go, well, who led the team in rushing yardage? Well, it was Russell Wilson. That's not positive when Russell Wilson is leading your offense in rushing yardage and having a completely ineffective day as a passer. I think we are starting to see already after 1 week, and it's not the only team and city and coaching staff, a level of toxicity, because immediately what happens, you get the story of Jaxson Dart was willing to speak with the media, and he wasn't allowed to. At least that's what comes out of, that post game. And, that's going downhill quickly with the Giants. And I think if you come out in a game where, look, we saw, last week, to me, the Cowboys played much better than I expected. They played better offensively than I expected. They played better defensively than I expected. Granted, they're going to come into this game with some injuries, but this can't be a situation where the Giants get smoked again on offense in the second straight game, because the Dart question will gain so much steam so quickly after a second straight loss. And there's no question in my mind people are going to start to ask. It's not just going to be people talking about Brian Callahan's job. It's going to be people talking about Brian Daboll's job. And how long do we wait into the season before we start questioning whether or not he's the one who's potentially the first coach to go?
What do you say, Ben?
And I was going to say, to Charles's point, Giants 4 of 16 on third down, 231 total yards, 4 yards per pass. That's bad. 3.2 yards per rush. That's worse, especially when Russell Wilson is your leading rusher. The only good thing about that game was that for the 4 box of Sunday Ticket, you could put that one off pretty early. You didn't have to worry about watching that. But that being said, last week we had sharp money at books pushing the Giants down. That line moved significantly. The Giants were initially a touchdown underdog and closed under that. So something to remember too, the sharps are not always right. They're right more times than certainly the public is over the long run. But there were a lot of people who liked the Giants last week. I would say this week, Cowboys open 3.5, 4. This line is up. It's at BetMGM. It's Cowboys minus 5.5. It is at 6 at other books. Public is all over the Cowboys. Cowboys have that rest edge as well. And the Giants, Andrew Thomas, a big potential injury as well to see. Looks like Deron Bland for the Cowboys, probably out. But no surprise, public all over the Cowboys.
A couple of crazy notes on this one. First of all, Russell Wilson, if you like quarterback wins and losses as a real stat, has lost 5 consecutive starts if you go back to last year with the Steelers. The other one that blew me away, Dak Prescott. Now, granted, he's been injured. That doesn't mean that the Cowboys have beaten the Giants 13 straight, but Dak has beaten the Giants 13 straight, which I had no idea. And the other one, and this one is it makes you go, wait a minute, what? This is the first time the Giants and Cowboys have played in Dallas at 1 o'clock Eastern, so 12 local, at AT&T Stadium ever. The last time they had a 1 o'clock kick in Dallas was in 2005 at the old Texas Stadium. Like, that's just bonkers.
Crazy. Yeah, that's good.
All those Eli Manning Sunday night. Yeah, Monday night games.
Yeah. They don't play in Dallas at 1 o'clock, except this one, they are going to play in Dallas. All right, let's move on to another interesting one. Another on the Aaron Rodgers revenge tour, except it's not his revenge, it's the DK Metcalf revenge game. The Seahawks come to Pittsburgh to play the high-flying, because Rodgers threw 4 touchdown passes, Pittsburgh Steelers. This is an Adam Amin, Mark Sanchez, Christina Pink game. Aaron Rodgers, now 28 career games with 4 touchdown passes and no picks, tying Tom Brady. He is also 2 touchdowns behind Charles Brett Favre on the all-time list. Not that that's a revenge item, but I'm sure that's a feather in his cap that he would certainly like. And I know that a lot of people think this is DK Metcalf against Tariq Woolen. Mike McDonald was asked yesterday, might Tariq Woolen get benched this week? Because he did not have a good week in week 1 against the Niners. And he didn't say no. So there are a lot of what was week 1 storylines here, truly. Like, who are these teams?
Yeah, I mean, Tariq Woolen, that's definitely that's touchy there for him to, his job status as a starter it's on the hot seat right now. I mean, there's no way that you get a response like that and you're not sitting there thinking, okay, I'm on the clock here. I have to come out in week 2 and, have a great game. And the Steelers, to me, I got to admit, they were fun to watch. Aaron Rodgers played well. He looked good. He looked like he was having fun. Calvin Austin was a piece in that offense. I mean, you start to see other elements come to the surface. It's not like it's just DK Metcalf. If you watch that game, you're like, okay, there are other reasons to feel good. about this Pittsburgh offense. Now, conversely, Mike Tomlin was not happy about how they played defensively. TJ Watt was not happy about how they played defensively, and rightfully so. But look, the whole offseason was focused through this Aaron Rodgers prism and what would he look like, and the all-in nature of the veterans that they added to this team, even the draft picks, the guys that they drafted. It was all about, hey, 2025 is sort of we're pushing our chips in the middle of the table here. For one game, I will say that Aaron Rodgers looked probably the best Aaron Rodgers I've seen since his best days left in Green Bay. Am I wrong? Like, did that not look like the guy that the New York Jets were praying for and just never got?
Yeah. Even though he only threw the ball once beyond 20 yards downfield. I mean, DK's biggest play was a short little one that he turned off. He got to the sideline and he busted up, for another 15, 20 yards. But yes, he looked that good. He did.
Yeah, and I would, just to jump in, sorry, do you want to finish, Charles? I don't know if you had anything else.
No, go ahead. No, take it away, Ben.
Okay. I was just going to say, he also took some vicious hits as well. Like, it still was, there were a couple you're like, man, is he getting up from that? That game also ran diametrically opposed to the Giants-Commanders game in terms of intensity. I mean, that looked like a playoff game. Those teams did not like each other, and both obviously wanted to win, either to beat Rodgers or to win for Rodgers. In terms of this game, Steelers-Seahawks, lowest total on the board, which is interesting because the Jets Steelers last week was the lowest total and was one of only 4 games of the 16 to fly over the total. This one is at 40. We have seen some sharp money at a couple books on the Seahawks +3. The public, as you would expect, on the Steelers, about 75% of the bets on them to cover. Interesting, though, before the season, the Steelers were projected to be favorites in 6 games. These first 2 weeks, obviously 2 of those, they're underdogs potentially in 7 of their last 9. So this is really a game, if they're going to get over that win total of 8.5, if they're going to make the playoffs, this is a really important game for the Steelers. They obviously squeaked out week 1. Can they get it done as a short favorite here in week 2?
Yeah, some other random notes here from this one. Other than JSN, Jackson, Smith, and Jigma, the passing attack a week ago for the Seahawks was kind of a massive question mark here. Sam Darnold, 9.5 pass yards per attempt targeting JSN, 2.9 pass yards per attempt targeting everyone not named JSN. But if you're concerned about the travel here, and Seattle is as difficult a place as there is to get to in the NFL, all the, obviously, northwest corner of the country, at least especially to and from the East Coast. The Seahawks are 7-1 on the road since 24. And when traveling east, here it is. The Seahawks are 19-4 in 1 p.m. Eastern time games on Sunday since 2018, which is the best in the NFL. Makes no sense, but they are that good. Coming up, Charles, Ben, hi, I'm Andrew. The rest of your Week 2 preview, including the Bills and the Jets. Because, yeah, it's AFC East pleasantries being renewed.